Good evening, Mohawk students. We are your Mohawk Students Association, and welcome to Tarot and Astrology with Chris Corsini. Please make sure to leave comments in the box right on the side there. Let's get right to it. Chris Corsini is an American sign language interpreter, a tarot card psychic, a Reiki healer, and an inclusive musician and performance artist. He is also a Canadian. Tonight, Chris will be discussing the upcoming Aquarius season astrology, psychic downloads, tarot insight, and numerology. So, without further delay, let's welcome Chris Corsini.
Hi. Thank you for the introduction. Yes, she is right. I am a sign language interpreter. I am an astrologer, a tarot card reader, an energy healer, but I also like to provide people with accessible resources to figure out how to open themselves up to downloads and their own intuition and heal themselves, of course. We wanted to also say sorry about, we were trying to add the automatic captions, but Mercury is in retrograde, so it didn't work very well. But the video after, they're going to add them, hopefully, so that should be something to look forward to. Okay, I'm also gonna establish or set up my timer because I will just like talk and talk and talk. So let me just quickly set this up here. Okay, here we go. Whew. Aquarius season this is a big opportunity for all of us to just really reimagine who we want to be. And I say that because Aquarius is all about air energy. It's also, it's a fixed sign. So if you think about Aquarius people, they're very innovative. They're also, in a high vibration, it's all about, love and peace and harmony. How can I support the collective? How can it be equal give and take, etc. So that is an overall, high positive energy that we are all feeling influenced by at the moment. So I'm going to go through a lot of notes here, and we're going to sort of go through the month ahead and what it looks like. So I do want to also say I'm not like a trained professional astrologer. I love astrology and I use it every day, and I have like a pretty good knowledge of astrology. Absolutely. I always work it into all of my work, but I am also human. So I maybe will make mistakes, or this is what I feel about the astrology. So if you know something different or you feel something different, always follow your own intuition and always respect what matches for you and what makes sense to you. And if it doesn't, just drop it and leave it and sort of move on. Like that's just a good rule overall for tarot and everything sort of energy related. So I'm going to do a little bit of tarot. I'm going to focus on the Aquarius season vibe and sort of what is to come with all of the planetary influences and how they affect all of us. I also am using sign language, obviously. So sometimes I might have to pause and just like gather my thoughts because English and sign language work in two different directions. So there's kind of a lot of processing happening here. So Aquarius season started in January on the 19th, and it will go until February the 18th. So there's around a 30-day period. And if you are an Aquarius yourself, you will obviously really feel the impact of this month. Everyone will feel the impact of this kind of energy, of course, because we're all here on the earth plane and we're all sharing this experience together. So that is just something to keep in mind. If you are a fixed sign, so the fixed signs, the water fixed sign is Scorpio, earth is Taurus, fire is Leo, and air is Aquarius. If you are one of those four, you will also feel this greater than maybe your friends who are not a fixed energy. A little bit about the overall like numerology. I also really enjoy numerology, and this year is 2021. So if you break that down, you have 2, 0, 2, 1. So the 0 we just get rid of. 2 and 2 equals 4, and then 1 is 5. So if you focus on 5, 5 is change. It's a shift in perspective. If you think about air energy, that is related to perspective, that is related to our ideas, our thoughts, and Aquarius, it's fixed air energy. It means it's your, it's the thoughts and the ideas and the perspective that you're like kind of stuck with. It's like maybe society or your parents or a teacher or another person told you something about yourself. Maybe you like dated someone once and they told you like, oh, you're not very smart. And then you're just like, oh my God, like now I'm holding this energy thinking I'm not smart enough or I'm not good enough. So like that would be a fixed energy related to the air, okay? So the air is all up in the mind. Aquarius season, we're focusing on ideas. We're focusing on thoughts. We're focusing on new ideas and new thoughts because it's Aquarius, and Aquarius is innovation and creativity and self-expression in a unique way. Aquarius energy doesn't like labels. It doesn't like groups or categories. It really likes sort of like spectrum and fluidity and flexibility. So like that's a really, it's a really positive energy that we can use to our advantage. So you can apply the flexibility of that sort of Aquarius energy. And I know it's fixed. Yes, I will get more into the fixed thought, but if you think about Aquarius people, they, for example, would love to figure out a system, and then they would say, okay, I understand this system. How can I now change this and modify this to reinvent this system so that it supports more of the collective, so that it supports more people, so that more people are included? So that is a little bit of Aquarius energy that you can maybe use to your advantage this month moving forward, or at least until, you know, before February 18th. Okay, let me see what else I got here that is something. What else do I want to focus on before I jump into the month? Yeah, you know what? I think I'll just start going through. I'm going to start now describing the month ahead. So recently, this is in Aquarius season. Recently, on January 28th, we had a full moon in Leo. So a couple days ago, that was, I think, 5 days ago, we have this full moon, and that Leo energy was really helping us to release anything that was related to our ego. Maybe having, you know, Leo is fire energy, so it could be having fights or disagreements with other people because maybe they themselves are very proud or very stubborn or very fixated on their emotions, how they feel, how they feel maybe entitled, or it's all about me. It could be narcissistic. So that energy mixed with Aquarius season is like, it's a little bit explosive because we have pride, we have ego, and it's mixed with a stuck thought. So maybe some people are saying like, no, I'm right. I know I'm right. I'm always right. I'm the best, and you need to match me, or something like that. And you're just like, no, you're not the best. You don't understand. Like, it's Aquarius energy. So I'm feeling like, no, you need to figure out how to adjust yourself so that you can match the team, or you can match working with the collective, or you can match this new energy. But with that moon in Leo, which is a full moon in Leo, our emotions, or some people that maybe you're dealing with, their emotions, maybe you noticed, are very like, again, stubborn. It's all about me. It's my decision. I'm right. You're wrong, etc. So there's this tension in the air of that Aquarius energy being like, no, just change, just figure out how to adapt. And then there's these other people or these situations where they're feeling like, no, I'm resisting that. I don't want to change. You need to figure out how to match me. So this is a recent full moon, and that maybe for some of you, of course, we all experience it different. But for some of you, that is a tense energy that was in the air, okay? So what we wanted to focus on releasing: vanity, ego, pride. Some of you may also, in a more positive direction, have noticed you are actually proud of something that you maybe did. So maybe you made a hard decision, or you've been working really hard towards a project and it finally either was completed, or now you're seeing the results are starting to show up, even if it's just a little bit, but it's the universe saying like, good job. Now you've been working on something. It could be, you know, over the past 6 months, because we would have had a new moon in Leo 6 months ago. So like, if you can think back to 6 months ago, who were you interacting with? What were you doing? What were you focusing on? And have you noticed that a cycle has been completed? Maybe you let go of some of these people. Maybe you, again, completed a project, you finished, I don't know, could be related to school or work or whatever, but these are just nice things to keep in mind when you're seeing the moon, you know, go full and then wane. It waxes and it wanes. As it's growing, things are developing, things are rising. It could be disagreements are getting worse. And then after the full moon, it's time to finally let go. It's time to move forward. And yes, we still will be feeling that influence or feeling that person possibly, because you're going to let go, and that release period, it could take up to 6 months. So just go with the flow of it, okay? The next big thing that happened was Mercury went retrograde, and that was in Aquarius, and that was on January 30th. So Mercury is the planet that is connected to how we process information. It's connected to our thoughts, our ideas. It's connected to how we communicate, technology, travel, etc. So first of all, if you're all students, maybe back something up on a hard drive or a USB, your computer, your phone, like be careful, because you may notice that maybe your Zoom is not working very well at times, or your schedule, like something just gets removed from it and then you forget to send something off. So like just double check everything. Also, if you want to sign something, or you have a serious sort of like document, something that's a little more official, or you need to submit something, ask another person to just read it first, to double check it, because it's really easy for us to miss the details. It's really easy for us to misinterpret something, and we sign something, or you type an email and you send it off, and then you get a reply that's like so left field, and you're like, what? That is not what I said. But it's just an easy time for miscommunications, misinterpretations, misunderstandings, etc. So be careful with communication for the next 3 weeks, but then there's also a post shadow period. So it could be like the next 5 weeks. So just be really careful. It doesn't mean you have to stop or disengage completely. Like, no, you can still be involved. You can still move forward. Like life goes on. I understand that. So just be extra careful, okay? So what's interesting about this mix with Mercury retrograde in Aquarius is that Aquarius, as I said earlier, is our fixed ideas, our thoughts, our belief systems, what we believe to be honest and true, our perspective, etc. Now that Mercury is in Aquarius and it's retrograde, our ideas are changing. Our perspectives are shifting. Our belief systems are changing. The people we want to show up for, we probably don't want to show up for them all and connect with them all. We want to be changing our social group possibly, or you may notice that people from the past, people you've already connected with, these could be ex-partners, like lovers, they could be a boss, a friend, family, whatever, they're typically coming back around, or that energy comes back around and it challenges you to figure out if, well, it's for the universe to see if you've figured out how to deal with that kind of energy. So you're going to want to be on alert for who and what kind of energy comes back around. If that energy comes back around and you notice, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with this person or this kind of vibe or this project again. I've already done that. Maybe you said you don't want to, for example, accept an offer and you turned that down a while ago and now the offer's back and they're saying, oh, well, what about this? What about that? It's like, it's that kind of thing. So just double check if you are in line with that. Do you like that person, that energy, that project? If not, say no, because when you say no, the universe then sees, oh, okay, they said no, they've learned, they've applied the lesson, and now because they've let that go, we're going to replace it much faster with something that's in a better, higher vibration that will match your experience. You will find a new person eventually, you will find a new offer eventually, etc. So that aside, Mercury in retrograde in Aquarius is challenging your own old ideas, your fixed perspectives, maybe things that you didn't want to change, maybe old habits, behaviors, routines, ideas, whatever. Now we have an opportunity to really reflect and see, how do I feel about this behavior? How do I feel about this person, about this project? It's not a time to make big decisions. If you need to, or you really feel confident, oh, I think I need to clear this from my life. I don't want this included anymore. I'm going to clear it. Then go for it, of course. But I would suggest postponing accepting a new offer, because if you accept an offer or you accept an apology or you accept a new person or you accept something new and you try to start something new, you will probably in 4 weeks, 5 weeks from now, you'll feel, I don't like this. Why did I do that? Why did I go back and say yes to this person or say yes to, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. My passion has changed. My vibe for you is different. I'm not interested. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when you're deciding. The other thing I wanted to talk about, because Mercury is in Aquarius, we are thinking about how we can contribute to the collective. So you will find more expansion. You'll find more joy, satisfaction, happiness, love, opportunities. All of those things will come if you are connecting with the collective. So Aquarius energy, how can I show up for you and support you? How can you support me? And together we expand and grow. If you're focused on a project, or you're focused on a community, or you're focused on a person who's really sort of like self-centered, or they just want to focus on themselves, or that project is really only supporting you and your own business or your own opportunity, you will find that maybe over the next couple of weeks, you're thinking, okay, I think I can do more with this project. I think I can expand it more so that it serves more people. And then with that will come more opportunities, resources, money, expansion, etc. So like Aquarius energy is very connected to innovation and supporting the collective. So give yourself a break, slow down, hit pause. If you can take a break and just connect with yourself, maybe in an easy meditation, a guided meditation, something simple you can find online. It doesn't need to be like a 60-minute like crazy meditation. Like you can just do like the fun 10-minute guided meditation or something easy, because we have so much air energy. That's our thoughts, our ideas. And I should have mentioned this earlier. We also just started the age of Aquarius. So like there is a lot of new energy being downloaded into the collective. So all new ideas and perspectives. So if you can slow down and take a break and put your mind and your thoughts on pause for a second and try to just find inner silence, maybe even going outside and just walking in nature, or I know we have a pandemic and all these other things right now. So just maybe like a bath, for example, or just shutting off the lights and just like laying in your bed with like your eyes closed in just the dark and just feeling what you feel and seeing what downloads come through. Like there is a lot of activity happening now with the world just receiving so much information from this new age Aquarius energy. You will find some amazing downloads, amazing ideas, and whatnot. Okay, so then we move into February. So in February, Venus also moved into Aquarius. There's like a little bit of a theme here. I'm gonna go through a couple other planets. Oh, sorry, this side. I'm gonna talk about a few other planets. What's happening now, like, hasn't happened in like, don't quote me, but I think it's like 65 or 60 something years. There's a stellium in Aquarius, and a stellium means a group, like a collection. So we have soon to be 6 out of 10 planets, 6 out of 10 planets are all in Aquarius. Like that is a big deal. If you are an Aquarius, good luck. If you are an air sign, good luck. I am a Gemini, so I get it. It's like, whoo, child. If you are a fixed sign, you will also feel this amplified. All of the other people will still feel this, but if you are an air sign or a fixed sign, you will feel it kind of like double or more enhanced. So on February 1st, Venus moved into Aquarius. Venus is money. Venus is relationships. Venus is love, how we give and receive love. Venus also like loves the finer things in life, like the fancy things. So like maybe, nice hair, just like a cute shirt, like good wine, like whatever. So when Venus moved into Aquarius, now we are all sort of reestablishing our belief systems, our ideas, our thoughts connected to relationships. What do we want from relationships? And I'm not only talking about love. It 100% can be connected to love, of course, because Venus loves love. But this is relationship in general. How do I relate to the people around me? How do I relate to the community? How do I relate to the collective? How do I support that? How do I provide? And what do I expect to get back from that? Is it equal? Is it unequal? There's a lot of, just look at the world right now, right? There's a lot of like revolting. There's a lot of protest because people are trying to fight for equality. People want to give, and to get. Like it can't just be give, and then you leave me with nothing. And I'm like, the hell, man, you know what I mean? So like, there's an overall energy now of, again, the collective shifting their perspective on how we treat people, how we establish systems, how we re-establish the system so it's more equal for the people who are here living in the system. So this is an overall energy. Now, with Venus moving into Aquarius, it can be a really good time for you all to, look out for a relationship if you're interested in love. It's also a really good time for self-expression, for painting, drawing, writing, cooking, anything that makes you feel like you're getting something out. You have this pent-up energy and you want to release it in a creative way. A really amazing time for that. What else do I have here? Yeah, so when Venus moved into Aquarius, it is now joining the sun, which is like technically it's a star, I get that, but we count it. So it's the sun, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn. So there's all 5 of these planets. So like even Jupiter focuses on expansion and opportunity. Saturn focuses on structure and government. So like we have this huge opportunity to expand our structures, expand our government, expand all of these new services and how we approach servicing people and the collective so that we can all feel more equal and balanced working together. It's not only, 99% of the people working hard and 1% of the people like reaping all the benefits. Like that's not going to work moving forward, right? The next thing, I also just wanted to say it's really important for you guys to like ground yourself now. So if you can, even with your feet, just plant them down, try to take your socks off, plant them down and just envision like roots, like a tree, how it grows out the bottom, just out the bottom of your feet, growing down into the earth, goes down and it wraps around sort of like the core, and then just following your breath, because the breath is the only thing that's really present. Like that's the only reality. Like the past is done. You can't go back and change anything. So if you're looking back, you're just anxious or you're stressed or whatever. If you're looking forward, you're just stressed and nervous, or you're overthinking about things that haven't happened yet. So it's like, if you can just pause and focus on the breath, inhale, and with those roots out of your feet, bringing the white light up, and then just with the intention to calm, and exhale all your fears, exhale all your worries. I swear to God, if you do that every time you're like anxious or nervous or stressed or whatever, do that for like 5 minutes, even less, do it for like 2 minutes, and you'll just be like, oh wow, something just shifted. Like it really, really helps. So you can be feeling a lot of that collective energy, a lot of that collective anxiety, a lot of that collective fear. And like, truthfully, if you're here watching this discussion, you're probably already identifying as an empath, somebody who picks up energies from other people. Or if you're not identifying yourself as that, I can assure you, you probably are that because you're here and you're interested in learning about what you're feeling, what's happening around you. So like you're already going to have that sort of strengthened intuition. So just really, disengaging, clearing your aura. If you guys can buy like a selenite wand, selenite. It's like this stone. This is really nice for just combing out. Oh, I can feel that. I can feel that. It feels so nice. Combing out your aura, and always down and out, that type of thing. That kind of stone and clearing is going to really help you. And the nice thing is, selenite, you don't need to clean. Don't add it to water because it will get destroyed because it's like salt based. But yeah, you don't need to like clean that stone as often as other stones. So it's a really easy stone to use. And yeah, just always follow your intuition. Where do you feel like you have to clear? You know what I mean? Okay, so let's go to February 11th. So on February 11th, we have a new moon in Aquarius. Now, when the moon joins Aquarius, we will have 6 planets in Aquarius. So if you are an Aquarian, or a Gemini or a Libra, or your rising sign, and you can just check online, like free natal chart, and you just need your birth time and your place of birth and your birthday, obviously, which I'm sure you know. You put that in and it'll bring you up a chart. If you can identify your rising sign or even your moon sign, because those are the 3 sort of like main influences. So you have your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising. If any of those are an air sign or a fixed sign, you're gonna feel this. You're gonna feel this a lot. Your dreams may be like really vivid. Even if you're not one of those people, your dreams maybe still are really vivid. It's an important time for you to just slow down, to chill. We still have Mercury in retrograde, so it's not a time to jump or to force something. It's not a time to rush something. It's a time to slow down and to reflect. If you think about a retrograde, retrograde, a retrograde, it starts with re. So think about all the re words. So like reflect, realign, reimagine, blah, 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 blah. Like that is a really easy sort of like go-to cheat code for any retrogrades. Think about what that planet represents and then all of the REs. And that will sort of guide you to like, how is it best that my attention is focused right now? How should I be spending my time, my energy, my money? And with Venus moving into Aquarius, you're probably going to be thinking about spending your money differently, using your resources differently. Okay, so the new moon, it's a new moon, so you won't even really see it in the sky because it's going to be black, right? So it's a new moon and it's in Aquarius. So we have an opportunity to establish new intentions for Aquarius things. I'm not going to repeat everything that I've already discussed about Aquarius, but again, in a nutshell, what new perspectives do you want to include into your life? So when I say that, I'm talking about like, okay, for a long time, I really held on to this idea that money is hard, scarcity is real, it's very hard for me to make money, it's hard for me to find my place, it's hard for me to find good relationships, or I don't deserve real love, etc. Whatever the stupid story that you tell yourself because another person decided to tell you something that you just held on to because you were just a child growing up and you didn't know. It's like, it's time to let that go. And with a new moon in Aquarius, it's an opportunity for us to establish new belief systems about those Aquarius things. So how can I better show up for my relationships? How can I support the collective? And how can I establish myself so the collective can support me back? So these are, and you can just research Aquarius like features and you'll find a lot of things on there. I also, if you go to my Instagram, I do like monthly horoscopes so you guys can see like your own sign, what that horoscope looks like for the month ahead. I also have new moon workshops and they're pay what you can. So you can pay like 25 cents if you don't have any money. It's like whatever. But like these are affordable and accessible resources that you can use and they're like under 30 minutes. So it's like you can set your intentions. I talk about what is happening around that time so you know what the best direction is. Because if you're setting an intention for health, for example, that's good. That's always good. And I promote that anytime, of course. But like that is best spent on like a Virgo new moon, for example, because the Virgo is ruling, you know, the digestive system. Virgo is connected to health. So if you know what Aquarius energy looks like, then you can establish your intentions under an Aquarius new moon and it will enhance and expand your intention much faster. So yeah, just keep that in mind on or around February 11th. Again, you can find all these resources on my Instagram. I'm sure Martina can post that somewhere for you. Now, you need to be careful because around that time, we have a square. And a square in astrology is not great. It's a hard aspect. If you think about a square, it's like, it's pretty sharp on the edges. It's like, it looks a little aggressive, you know what I mean? It's like, ugh. So with all of these planets in Aquarius, we have a square with Mars and Uranus in Taurus. So if you don't know what that means, it's fine. I'm going to explain now what that maybe feels like or looks like. Mars is all about fight and anger and rage. It's also forward drive, motivation. It can be connected to sexual energy as well. But when you mix that with Uranus, Uranus is like shock and like immediate downloads. It's just like, wow, this just like, all of a sudden you have this crazy idea or all of a sudden everything makes sense and it's so clear. When you mix Mars and Uranus, because the two of them are basically together, you will find maybe people you didn't expect to freak out, they freak out. Or you didn't expect to freak out on someone, or you didn't expect to experience that kind of tension with another person, or with a collective, or with, again, like a big disagreement because your perspective doesn't match their perspective, and it's like this blowout. Like that's kind of, again, what's happening just around the world. So it could be that things get really sort of fired up during that time. So just keep in mind that date. And then we move into, so that was February 11th. That's the new moon. Around that time, you will feel that things get really tense also. So just be careful, disengage. And of course, Mercury is still retrograde. So like, don't try to sit down and have a big discussion and a heavy topic. It's like people are not hearing to understand, they're listening to respond, or people are just, it's gonna bounce off. It's not gonna get in. So if you can postpone that heavy discussion for a little bit, I would suggest that, okay? And then we have Pisces season that starts on February 18th. So before we flip over to Martina for the Q&A, I'm just gonna pull a couple tarot cards quick. Let's see, we're just looking for, just advice, please, for, okay. Oh. So I have the Ace of Swords reversed. This is a delay in a new idea. This is a delay in a new idea. This is a delay in new information coming forward. This is also miscommunication, misunderstanding, etc. So you have this opportunity for this sort of breakthrough, and it will happen. But first, I really think you need to just kind of reassess what's already happening, because it's like you don't have enough space for both. You can't have both. You can't be distracted and involved in the gossip and the drama and the disagreements and all the crap that's happening, and then also find silence and peace and enough time to download all of your new beautiful ideas. You can't do that because you're so distracted by all of these people who are like angry, or it's like these people, we're not even going to talk about them. We're not even going to focus on them. You want to find more peace and tranquility. You want to pause and take a break from that chaos, because when you disengage from this chaos, you can find the peace. This is a sword. This is air energy. This is Aquarius. This is what you want, okay? New ideas and perspective. You can't have both. So pick one. Do you want the drama and the gossip and the chaos, or do you want to find peace at home and chill and get all the new amazing ideas that God or the universe or your angels are trying to like download? They're like, hello, wake up, listen to me. Don't listen to them. This is distracting you from your goals. So like, keep that in mind, okay? I'm gonna do, how much time do we have? So we got 2 minutes. Okay, so I'll do 2 more. Okay, more advice, please. Advice, please, for the people watching. Oh my God, Queen of Cups. Literally prioritize yourself, okay? Prioritize yourself. Prioritize your mental health. It's not worth your mental health if you're focusing on drama and chaos and gossip. It's just not worth it. Trust me, I've been involved in the drama. I've been involved in all this crap. It's not worth it. It's just going to stress you out. You're going to get higher blood pressure. It's like, why? It's like, just disengage. Focus on yourself and love what you do. Love yourself more than anyone else can love you, because like, you know, RuPaul, which is always like, if you can't love yourself, how are you going to love another person or someone else? But like, yeah, this is also Cancer energy. This is Pisces and Scorpio. So maybe connect with some of your water sign friends on Zoom, or if you are a Cancer, a Pisces, or a Scorpio, then it's just really important for you to also like disengage, because like, especially if you're a Cancer, I'm hearing like you're a softie. It's like you got a big heart, you're gonna open up and give. It's like, no, for all of you, it's time to give to yourself and to prioritize yourself and draw some boundaries, okay? The last card, this is also emotions. They're really showing me emotions. It's like your emotions, you need to level out your emotions. You can't level out your emotions when you're involved and surrounded by people who don't have balanced emotions. It's just going to influence you and continue to throw you off your game. So like, if these people are continuing to stress you out or to throw you out of whack, it's like, why even pay attention to it? Don't. Chat with some of the people in this Zoom chat, like make new friends, you know what I mean? Okay, I'm gonna do one more card. Okay. One more card, please. Okay, I'm just gonna pick one. Okay, so I have the Death card reversed and the Knight of Swords. Okay. Don't get impulsive. You will regret it, first of all, okay? If you impulsively respond, you impulsively send a text, or an email, or you get a little bit angry and you get fired up, like it's not the time. Step back, pause, ask yourself, like, why do I feel so triggered right now? Also, this Knight of Swords moving forward, this is new ideas, new thoughts, new perspective, new communication, etc. You've got the Death card here reversed. A lot of us, all of you probably, are going through like a deep psychological like reprogramming. So we're letting go of so many old ideas, belief systems, perspectives, what I think I deserve, who I want to be socializing with, etc. So as we, sorry, that's my timer. As we are clearing all of that out, this is a death process. Sorry, this is a death card. It represents a death process. You will be born again, of course, and you will be like even stronger. So it's amazing. But you don't, I feel like you don't have all of your new ideas 100% sort of solidified. You don't have all of your new belief systems like fully established. You don't, so this is a funny mixture because you want to go forward, you want to jump into something, you want to start something new, but I feel like if you jump, it's like when you're flying through the air, you're gonna be like, where am I landing? What the hell am I doing? Why am I here? So it's like, don't jump, just wait, because the Knight of Swords is impulsive and the Death card reversed, you're still releasing. I just talked about that full moon. I just talked about the Mercury retrograde. Like, you're in a time of review and reflection and reassessment and release. So if you jump, later, I said this before also actually, later you're gonna be like, oh my God, why did I do that? Oh, I regret that. I shouldn't have said that because my idea is not 100% perfect yet. Why did I share? I'm also hearing like, don't share all of your plans. Don't share all of your information. Don't share your exit strategy or whatever. Like if you don't like Brenda, you don't need to tell Brenda. You can just figure out how to like leave her behind and then like go find new people. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's a little bit of like a stop and go, but I would suggest to stop and to like pause and reflect, and then, you know, moving forward, it'll be a better time. In like 5 weeks, you're good to go. We also have Aries season starting in around 5 weeks, and that spring equinox. So like that's a time to jump and expand and go for it, okay? Okay, so that's that. I'm going to turn it back over to Martina. She's going to pick a few questions. Try to keep the questions a little bit more general so that they apply to everyone and not just like, I'm a Pisces moon. What does that mean? You know what I mean?
Perfect. Okay, thank you, Chris. First up, we have one of our MSA board members, Kat, who would like to ask you a question.
Okay.
Hello. So first of all, I am processing everything that you just said because too accurate, a lot. But my question is, what is your like, I don't remember exactly what I wrote, but your like suggestions or tips for somebody who wants to get into tarot reading / astrology stuff? I've tried to look into it, but it's just so much information that I don't know where to start.
Yeah. So tips, yeah, for starting tarot or astrology. Well, first of all, you should order yourself a deck so that you can because they always come with a little book. So that for tarot is amazing because this is, oh, that's great. This is the Rider Waite deck. And this is like the traditional sort of classic deck that I guess has been used forever. And the foundation that you'll find with the book and all the information will be really helpful for you just establishing your ideas and understanding of what each card means, for example. So that's a really good opportunity to jump with. And then, of course, maybe like, 3 months later, like kind of get rid of the book and just start following more of your intuition with the knowledge that you just learned. Second to that, I love, like when I started, I love just like watching other tarot card readers on like YouTube, for example. I have a YouTube, I have an Instagram. So like you can just watch how we or other readers read the cards, and like that will start to build a little bit more knowledge as you expand and see that like not every time I see this Two of Cups, it means you're going to find love or whatever the book says. Like we go in our own direction. Because what's really important is when you start to use your intuition more and to strengthen it, your angels or guides or whoever you sort of work with on the other side, they can only communicate with you with the knowledge you have. Like they can only give you words or images that you already know because you're using your current consciousness, right? So it's really important for you to see how other people use those cards and then understand for yourself how that card can be used. And then later, as this information comes, you know how to like place it. The second thing for astrology, same thing. I just use YouTube. Like, honestly, I just like dove into watching so many different astrologers and tarot card readers. And like, I try not to watch, 30 different people. Like I pick 2 or 3 tarot card readers and like 1 or 2 astrologers. Astrolada, so Astrolada. I love her YouTube. She has an accent, so sometimes it's a little bit like, wait, what did you say? Because it's like a strong like Spanish accent or something like that. But she's funny. She's super knowledgeable, and like I've just watched her for so long that now when I hear, Pisces is in the 12th house of whatever, it's like I kind of understand that relationship. And I really now just kind of have expanded more of my knowledge like that. Podcasts are also really good. Just listening to different podcasts. I will have like on my website closer to the springtime, some like tarot like lessons and things like that. So if you check again, like my Instagram or my online content, you'll see me like promote it sort of into the springtime. But yeah, that's where I started. Just a lot of reading, find some good people that you really like, you trust their work, and just watching and observing, and then buying a deck and trying things yourself also. Yeah, for sure.
Perfect. Up next, we have Tasha.
Hi. My question for you was, how long have you been signing for? Because you sign amazingly. I've done a couple of sign classes within my program, and just how did you get so good?
I started using sign language in high school. My high school, I actually grew up and went to high school in Ancaster, which is like near Hamilton. And my high school had 4 deaf students, and their interpreter set up like a sign language club. So I joined that and I just started learning for fun. And then they suggested George Brown College because they have an interpreter program. So I went there for 4 years, and I took the program. And then, yeah, I passed and I became a certified sign language interpreter. and then I worked in the community for like 10 years, but there's a lot of, well, not now, but there's normally a lot of like deaf events that you can go to. And if you started learning ASL from either a course or online, then you'll have sort of basic conversation skills. And then when you go to a deaf event, you can just practice. Like the best thing to do is to get involved in the deaf community and meeting, you know, more deaf people. I also actually, sorry, I'm not trying to like sell everything, but like I also will have an ASL course available with deaf teachers soon as well, because I get a lot of people asking me like, where can I learn? So I will have those resources available in the springtime also. But like, that's the best way to get involved, is just practice. If you can find on like TikTok or Instagram or YouTube a deaf person who uses and teaches ASL, that's going to be amazing as well. I'm also a Gemini, so like communication is like our thing, and yeah, that just helps. But it's kind of just getting involved in the community, again, researching, getting really into watching as much as you can, kind of like what I just talked about with the astrology. Like, yeah, that's my suggestion. I've also been signing for like, oh my God, over like 15 years now. So like it's natural. But yeah, like if you're still just sort of picking it up, like keep going, because deaf people love it. I love it. And like, I think we're sort of moving into that direction of like just more accessibility and inclusion and diversity, right? So yeah, like good job for you for picking it up. I love that.
Awesome. Up next, we have Christina. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Mhm.
Huge fan, Chris. I do have a quick question though. Was there a pivotal time in your life, be it like through a individual or situation, that led you to, I guess, like that spiritual being?
Yeah, when I was at George Brown College, I was living in Toronto, and I was in like a really toxic relationship, and then that kind of just spiraled into like a really like dark time where I was like using a lot of drugs and like drinking a lot and just kind of like so like lost. And in that time, which like normally when it doesn't always need to be like so drastic, but a lot of people at some point in their life, it will just kind of hit them, and there's like, they call it the dark night of the soul. And it's this moment of just feeling like completely lost and confused and so out of alignment with like your truth and yourself and all of that. And I do remember when I was sort of like going through that, yeah, I went to like therapy, and the therapist had a recommendation for Reiki, which is what I was just like, again, I was like feeling really just curious and sort of like I don't know how to explain it. Like when you feel like there's just this internal thing, it's like a compass. It's like, you have to try that. You have to just go in this direction. That's your intuition, right? So I felt, okay, like Reiki, like, okay, fine, I'll try it. Like, I feel really curious. And then I went, and it was actually the like Reiki energy healers last day. And I met him that day, and he said like, I know this sounds weird, but like my guides are telling me that I should work with you. So if you want to join me, I will mentor you like, you know, twice a week for whatever. And then I probably visited him for like 2 years straight. And he taught me tarot, Reiki, he taught me sort of psychic development and all that. So yeah, like that moment, that started probably 2014, 15. And then I met this guy, and he's like 70 years old, and like we're like best friends. Like I talk to him today actually. So yeah, we just chatted, and he taught me like everything really. And it's more about how you learn on your own. And like, yeah, if you are already curious and you're already exploring that kind of thing, then just keep moving in that direction, because you won't need like such a dark like wake up. You know what I mean? Like I had like a really sort of intense wake up. There was a lot happening. And I think it's because also I have like, I've been told I have a really old soul. So like old souls can really kind of take a beating and like put up with a lot before something like really slaps them in the head and wakes them up. And unfortunately, I had to have like a really, really bad traumatic sort of experience, a couple of them. And then after that, yeah, I was like, no, this doesn't work. Like I can't keep doing this. And that's when I sort of veered off into this like spiritual path. And then since then I've just been like, oh my God, I love this. This is like I love tarot and astrology. And like, I just kind of dived into it. And now my business has switched to really just this, and I don't do so much interpreting anymore, but that's kind of like, yeah, how it all happened.
Wonderful. Okay, so our last question will be from Jamila.
Okay, yes, thank you, Chris. Amazing information. So my question is, and you talked about us most likely being empaths. What is your recommendation for strategies to protect our energy as an empath?
Yeah, I like to care, like I have rings on right now. So this is turquoise. And this is really, really good for protection. This is really good for balancing emotion. So I would do a little bit of research about stones, and whatever you feel sort of drawn to, or if you, well, now you probably can't, but if you can just go into a store, a stone store, and they're all sort of out, I promise you, if you just kind of like, okay, which do I want? And you just pick one and then you research it, it's probably exactly what you need in that moment. So stones are really good for protection. Tourmaline is a really good stone for that. Anything dark, this is smoky quartz. These are really good for protection. I have these here because I connect with so many people, like now, for example. And this rutilated quartz, which is the lighter gray with a little bit of like white in it. You probably can't see it, but this is really good for interactions. So as your energy comes out of this experience towards me, this kind of spins and it kind of just draws it. So I'm not like feeling it all. And then you have to clean them also. So making sure that you've got like an amethyst or a selenite so that you can clean them. Or using different like smoke cleanses is also good. I'm trying to get away from like sage because there's a lot of like appropriation and stuff like that now. So, but yeah, that's one thing. The other thing that you could do, depending on who you're connecting with, when you go into the room or before you meet that person, like literally in your mind's eye, just stop, close your eyes, take a breath. Use like those roots that I talked about earlier, the roots, ground yourself, and then like close a curtain, just close a curtain around you. Don't use a mirror. People use mirrors, but like if I set up a mirror, it's just gonna bounce it back to you, and then it's gonna be flying around. Like, no, it's not smart. Or use a mirror, but like pyramid shaped. So when it comes, it bounces like away from you, and then with the intention that it goes and it gets absorbed back into the ether and, you know, transmuted into positive energy or whatever. But yeah, I like the curtain. You can sort of close the curtain and it's see-through, so you can still see them, but what comes at you, it kind of hits and like it falls. The other thing that's really easy is like a safe, like a bank safe. I sometimes will just like open the door and like put myself inside it and then close it. And then in my mind, and like literally just have fun with it. Whatever works for you, because it's about you communicating to your higher self. It's you communicating to your protected guides. Like you don't need to follow what I'm saying. Figure out what works best for you and have fun with it. Maybe put yourself in a dome and like paint it, like paint it gold and just paint the dome, and you're painting the dome. Like things like that, the visualization and the grounding is going to really help you before you go in. And then if you also have a stone and you hold that stone and you program the stone, so you hold it and you say, okay, this is for protection. And then you put it on, and then you close your curtain, and then you go and you meet that person. Like, you'll just know that you're more protected. So because you know you're more protected, you will automatically be more protected, because other people can't actually influence you or actually control you or actually affect you unless you give them permission. If you give them your permission, your attention, if you think they can control you, then they can control you. But like, if you know they can't, and you prepare yourself with the dome and the stone and whatever, then when you arrive, you're gonna go in there and you're gonna be like, this person just like can't even touch me. So like, I'm cool. And sometimes if they're getting really sort of irate or something, you can paint them. You can paint them blue or something calming, paint them and let them calm down, or ground them, establish a cord and just suck all the negative energy out. You know what I mean? Like, that's probably how I would start. Sorry, that's like a lot of information, but that's a good start. Yeah, pick one of those and play with it.
Amazing, Chris. Thank you so much for your words of wisdom and insight, especially during this difficult time. Mohawk students, make sure you check out Chris on Instagram. We will post the link in the Facebook chat for all of you to check out. That is it for tonight, Mohawk students. Please make sure to keep checking our social media and website for more events. Have a wonderful evening.